Push the weight and no flex. Flex. The live is 1 in the 6. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You ain't run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. It's time to bleed. Y'all see this ape up here? You already know what I'm going to do. You already know what this live going to be. And I will continue to remind him and everybody that supports him. Well, not, they don't support him. They glaze him. There's a difference. Everybody that loves on him unconditionally, I'm going to remind you of how we got here. And I'll talk about where he could have potentially have been. Yep. So I'm letting y'all know right now. Pull up. Y'all see the Rumble link pinned at the top. You already know. Y'all already know what I'm finna do. See, I got 30 minutes to make that lateral move. The Rumble link is pinned at the top. Yep. Let's do this roll call. Steve O. You're already over there on Rumble. Salute. Dodo Bird, what up? G McCall. Bernard Gilbert, my brother mine, the Monster Musa. What's going on? Anthony, what's going on, man? Ooh, I got the hiccups. Jalen Hudson. Dal Anderson. Black Superman, what's good? Dill Spooley in the building. Rick Blackwell. Robert Singleton. Stillwater Boxing. Eric O. Vince over there on Rumble. Salute. The Real Shelton. Salute. Chilltown Majors. Big Soldier. No Smoke in the building. Yep. Vince over there on Rumble. I'm telling y'all, I'm only going to be here for about maybe 25, 30 minutes. We're going to shut this down, make the lateral move, and continue it on Rumble. You know? I'm going to be very articulate on YouTube. Yeah, very articulate. I'm gonna make my point, but I'm gonna drill the point here on Rumble. So yeah, link is pinned. Go over there on Pep Talk, same thing. Link is pinned at the top. All you gotta do is click that link, and you're in Rumble. It's a whole new animal over there. And still in the building. Derek Gaines, the legend. Salute to you, brother. Much love and appreciation to you. Thank you so much. Michael Ray and Banks Home Filtered. There you go. He over there. Bernard Gilbert over there. Nicholas Levy, salute. Mr. Cheeks over there, salute. Black Gun Owners Magazine, salute. K-Rod over there. 4 Hour Snipers. Yes, sir. Eric's over there. Dill Spooley's over there. Yeah. Oh, No Smoke. That's done. That's done. But that little knuckle dragger inspired this live. Now I'm going to drill the point. Because I had something else I want to discuss, but maybe I'll save that for Monday. Because it was actually very funny. Romello, salute. Lucci, salute, salute. I am Sam, salute. Yup. I'll go ahead. I'll go right ahead. Give y'all a minute. Something I forgot to do, but actually, let me see something. Legendary, I see you over there. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead. So while y'all do that, you get ready to head over there. let's talk about Mellow Yellow and how he got here. He has a lot of fanatics. First of all, this era of boxing, I haven't seen. Lots of moose over there. Mike Magnus, salute, salute. I see y'all. Salute. The Netric Banner, salute. This era of boxing, since the Pacquiao era, when he was hot in these streets, I've never seen anything like this. And it's odd to me. It's very odd to me. The Pacquiao era made sense to a degree because he had a whole country behind him. And that was the first time I started hearing things like that. Well, I heard it before, but in volume, because that was the beginning. That was like the Floyd Mayweather era, right? And when it came to marketing, you see, we just knew about guys that were great fighters coming from other countries. We just didn't pay attention to it on that level because we weren't talking about marketing. When the Floyd Mayweather era came through, that was the first time we saw them. Xavier, what up? That was the first time we saw it spoken on the degree as far as marketing was concerned. It wasn't because he's a great fighter with the power of the country behind him. It was because he's a big draw because of the country behind him. They were referring to money. And that was when you had all these debates about, everyone thought they were a brilliant boxing business mind. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. You don't know boxing like how I know boxing. I'm trying to talk about the fights here. Now you're talking about fights marinating and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. What are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing? So that trickled over into every conversation that we had in boxing. The old regime was eating off of it. They were getting a kick out of it. When I say old regime, I'm talking about the 4 sanctioning bodies. I'm talking about Queensberry, Matchroom, Top Rank, Golden Boy slid in here. Pause. Well, it's Oscar, so he's slipping and sliding everywhere. Stormy, salute. Black Jericho, Javani. Y'all see the link pinked at the top. Y'all know what I'm going to do in about 30 minutes. All right, Tim Harmon, salute. This live will be continuing on Rumble. YouTube does not deserve my services this morning. Right? So I noticed that. And it's been an ongoing conversation. And I want to remind y'all, we never got Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder for undisputed at heavyweight because of that kind of mentality by the fanatics, enabled by guys like Eddie Hearn. I literally watched fans celebrate that AJ was ducking Wilder. And they clowned, which was a lie. They clowned how he couldn't sell out Alabama and he wasn't a draw and he don't make no money. And that was the biggest excuse in the world. And I was everywhere saying, well, even if that's true, he got the last piece to the puzzle. You don't want to go get that belt, though? That's what we're talking about. I was talking about the fight. I was talking about the fight. Why are we talking about money, man? Because this ninja's scared. That's why I got Bishop. Shout out to Tupac. Rest in power to him. I said, look, here's the bottom line. This ninja's scared. This ninja's scared. I don't care what you're saying. AJ's supposed to be jumping at the bit. So you got one belt left. Let's go. Let's go. And he never did it. He never did it. And I was like, well, what's going on, man? And it was like that with every boxing conversation. Enter Tank Davis. Now you need to understand, family. I never had a problem with this kid. I supported Floyd. He was being attacked racially. And I said, look, I don't care how you feel about him personally. All right. It didn't get out of hand. You know, he wasn't like, you know, on some Epstein stuff because, you know, you draw the line somewhere. But there was some fugazi things, but it wasn't like bad. It was typical N-word nonsense that dudes get sucked into. And I was like, man, I hope he gets better. But what kind of conversation are we having? Are we talking boxing? Or because I'm trying to talk boxing, then we always drift off to his legal issues. What kind of conversation are we having? I protected him on that. You know, they're online with the Floyd Mayweather. Y'all saw the meme where they made him look like Kentucky Fried Chicken. Wait a minute. I think I have it. Hold on. I think I have it. Oh, yeah, I do have it. Y'all don't go back as far as I go. Y'all seen this? This is old. Floyd Mayweather, he run like chicken. They had the Run DMC shirt that said Run Floyd because he was running for Manny Pacquiao. Then somebody did this. I said, this is actually brilliant work, but the racial overtones in this is astonishing. This was one of the first things I ever saved on social media. This was way before I was a content creator. I said, look, y'all can't tell me this ain't racist. But this is what we was dealing with. This is why for Floyd to behave the way he behaves to the black community, because we was out, bro, we were catching all kinds of strays. Nobody knew my ethnicity when I was on social media because I didn't have my picture attached. But when I picked a black fighter to win a fight on a thread, next thing you know, I was an N-word and everything else. I'm like, how do they know I'm black? Oh, because I'm picking the black fighter to win. Wow. I knew from day one what was going on online. This is where the cowards hang out at. They don't show their face. They do drive-bys. You know, I deal with it literally every day. Literally every day I deal with it. So when the general started the LDBC, I said, you know what? I got to support this movement just because it's the right thing to do. The YTBC, the YouTube boxing community, it was way racist. Way racist. Wasn't only white people either. When I had a Filipino on there on a whole thread, it went from boxing to the problem with black people in America. I was like, ooh, I didn't know y'all were experts on us. Meanwhile, y'all rapping in your language and you're breakdancing, and I wonder where that came from. Y'all wearing cornrows. They have a chemical that makes their hair nappy. Have you seen that? They have a chemical that makes their straight hair nappy. So while dudes was running around getting perms and straightening out their hair, there's a chemical that makes their hair nap up. Did you know that? I seen it. That's old. Did y'all know that? I was bugging like, whoa, I thought nappy was the worst thing in the world. You ain't even got to do that. There's black Filipinos. Did you know that? Did you know that? You won't see them online. You got to go to a isolated town to see them because they treat it like crap. There's a whole black town in Mexico. They're Mexican. They're looking like me. But I know black people get online and complain. We know how we're treated. But we are the bar. In all sports, we are the bar. Well, all sports, in my opinion, that matter. Don't nobody play rugby over here. And soccer is a great worldwide sport, but I'm from New York, bro. The only people kicking a soccer ball over here in the Bronx are Jamaicans. Sorry, but not sorry. We have our own culture here. Listen, I'm Black American. Everybody over here that are second or third generations, at least they can say, oh, I'm Argentine, I'm Mexican. So they know their lineage. Black Americans, we all mixed up everywhere. So when we was here, we created our own culture. Hip hop is a part of it. It's not the only part of it, but it's a part of it. And I see white Germans rapping now. That started here, man. We are the culture. And y'all take and take and take and take. And then say we have no culture. It's nonsense. And I get very annoyed when people don't treat it accordingly. It's something to be proud of. You can't talk down on us and then use what we've created. That's the story of what it is to be black. I literally read white people say that we ain't worth nothing and we don't do this and we don't do that and we haven't contributed anything to society. And I'm like, dude, you're white. What you've contributed to this world is death. You're a colonizer. You are the devil. You're a virus. Everywhere you took your white ass, you brought rats, disease, rape. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. That's your history. And right now, as we speak, we're dealing with war. Who started this? Wasn't a black man. That wasn't Obama. I don't care how you feel about him. 8 years, there wasn't a war. Epstein. It's not a black last name. All we want is the files and the names released, and now we got to go to war? You're not distracting me. All of this because y'all don't want to release the Epstein files? Are you kidding me? We got to go to war to hide this? Ain't no black people leading the charge in this, man. I mean, I'm sure there's some black people caught up in the mix, but come on now. You let them pull the wool over your eyes if you want them to. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but these things need to be said. We are the culture. And more on that on Monday. Shout out to my brother Xavier. He sent me something, and I'm gonna elaborate on it Monday. I'll just leave that there though. But getting back to this Mellow Yellow dude. Yeah, K-Rod, yeah. Listen, hip hop started in the Bronx, but in its humble beginnings. Puerto Ricans right here in the Bronx with us, back spinning on cardboards and everything. Puerto Ricans are instrumental in hip hop's humble beginnings. Yes, absolutely. That's real. But it's worldwide now. There's kids born now thinking that it was just something that the world invented in unison. And you got to watch out for when people say, oh, well, you know, everyone does it now. So no. When you let that go, 100 years from now, they're going to tell you that Eminem started it. And then you say, no, he didn't. No, well, he took it to another level. No, he didn't. Eminem will tell you he didn't. Eminem will tell you straight up his influences. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? They're always trying to hijack us. Right now, in parks where they pay homage to influential black people in the world, they're taking down those signs. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? They're taking down signs that represent influential black people in parks around the world and everything else. Have you seen that? This is what they do with us. They slowly try and change history. We don't want to talk. We don't need to talk about slavery. In Texas, they put some school books and they refer to, and y'all parents, y'all need to read your kids' literature. I swear to God. They tried to say Africans migrated to America for a better way of life. The woman was reading it and she said, migrated? And she looked at the year. She says, that wasn't migration. We're not talking about the 80s and 90s when Africans left wherever to come on to America. This was what? This was slavery. And she made a big old stink about it. And you know what the school said? It was an experiment. And we don't really want to talk about racism. No, you don't want to talk about racism and slavery. No, you don't want to talk about the history of this country. Now, why black people are always told to forget things and get over things because y'all are misbehaving now, which isn't even true. But tell a Jewish person not to talk about the Holocaust and Adolf Hitler ever again. And see what they say to you. See what they say to you. I didn't learn about King Leopold II in school. I learned all about Hitler. I learned all about the Holocaust. And it was tragic and it was disgusting. You know what I didn't learn? I didn't learn about the original Holocaust with King Leopold II, who killed like triple the amount of Africans than Hitler did the Jews. That's the truth. Look it up. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't learn that in school. I learned it at home before the internet in the 80s. I said, whoa, wait, this is important. I learned about Martin Luther King in school. I didn't learn about Malcolm X in school. I didn't learn about how when Nazi Germany fell, Argentina harbored Nazis. I didn't learn about that in school. Wonder why? I wonder why. Yes, they did. And look it up. Yes, they did. The Argentines did harbor Nazis. And by the way, they committed genocide because there were black people on their soil. And they eradicated them. Look it up. But we talking boxing, right? So I get a little triggered when a non-black comes to my chat talking crazy. We put up with so much and we're the bar. And I get more triggered when I see a big lip chimpanzee question my integrity when they don't even know their history. When they tell me, yo, you looking too deep, it's just boxing. No, it is not. And they have you well trained. You're not educated. You smoke too much marijuana. And you're just not educated. And they like you like that. Dark and dumb. One deep, my brother in that super chat salute. He says, during the Philippine-American War, Buffalo soldier David Fagan refused to fight against Filipinos and defected to the Filipino resistance. I don't know that story. I need to thank you for that. Let me put a star next to that. I'm gonna research that. I don't know that story. That's a good one. I'm gonna read about that. Y'all forgot why Muhammad Ali went to prison? Y'all forgot? How many of y'all kids know why Muhammad Ali went to prison? Famous words. Ain't no Viet Cong ever called me nigga. They locked his ass right up. He was in court talking about Cassius Clay. He said, no, Muhammad Ali. Cassius Clay, no, Muhammad Ali. Cassius Clay, no, Muhammad Ali. Cassius Clay, no, Muhammad Ali. He had to correct that judge, calling him by a slave name. He refused to go to war and they locked his ass right up. And what did white America do when he got out of prison? They sided with Joe Frazier, not because they loved Joe, but because he was enemies in the ring with Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali was anti-establishment. So Joe Frazier was catching strays from some black people, but a lot of other black people who were anti-Ali, because Ali had the same level of haters back then, knuckle draggers back then, the same amount of haters that hate on Deontay and Devin and Errol. You know, any black fighter that's doing that, you got the niggas that want to defect. And say, hey, look, I'm not like them. They were around there too in the 60s and 70s. So Frazier was getting backed by white America, but he was also catching strays. He wasn't on that type of time. He just wanted to fight. My brother Felix Nunez says, your thoughts on I'm no black, I'm Dominican thing. I got a story about that. I got a lot of Dominican friends. And I had one in particular who was darker than me. Well, it's not I'll just tell you, it's real brief. He was on that type of time. You know, he spoke Spanish, but he talked like us. But when he got around a lot of Spanish speaking people, all of a sudden he turned it on. Start laughing and joking with them. And while they laughing and talking, the lighter Spanish people would point at us or give us the thumb, like point at us like, yo, like pretty much saying, why you with them? I knew what it was, but I left it alone. And I told him, I said, yo, man, you wear two hats real well. I know they were talking about us. Oh, you know, some of them are racist. Yeah, some of them. Okay, well, whatever. Well, one night we was coming home from a house party, and I'll just say he had his knuckle dragon wake-up call. Because we got pulled over by two Latino cops. Now, I don't know what kind of Latino they were. I don't know. You know what I do know, though? When we was all out the car and they were patting us down and everything else, you know what he did, right? He said something to them in Spanish. The other one walked around the car and they start talking to him in Spanish and laughing at him. And I saw his face and he teared up. What was said? He wouldn't tell us. He in the back seat with his arms folded, pissed off. What was said? He wouldn't say anything. The girl that was with us, she's Puerto Rican. Oh, they treated her like a doll. They were, just staying right there. You with them? Well, I'm in the car. She told us what they said to him. They clowned him for being so black and nappy. So where he tried to call off the dogs, whatever Latin they were, he wasn't them. And they clowned him, pulled on his hair and everything. And Shorty told us, they called him, I forgot what the word was. Something negro, something with negro in it. They pretty much clowned him. Nigga wake up call. Good for you. I stayed out of it. It's none of my business. Getting pulled over back then was a part of life. But he was darker than me. He looked African. I mean, Guillermo Rigondeaux dark. Yes. And he was black when he was around us, but we got around a bunch of Spanish-speaking people. He made sure that he let them know that he was one of them. I didn't bother him. I already knew what time it was. And he cool, but I knew what time it was. After that night, he fixed his opinion on things. I never engaged because I knew what it was. and how he behaved, it was an act of survival. Maybe I'll tell that full story on Patreon. Aaron, salute. But I've been around things like that like all my life. So when a non-black comes in here and tries to tell me what it is, I'll tell you what it's not. I know that you haven't lived. I know that you haven't lived. And when a knuckle dragger my age or slightly younger or a little older tries to tell me I'm wrong, I know you're just trying to conform. And you want the target off your back. But it's not on your back, it's on your forehead. Because you're black. Yeah, Darryl, Sammy Sosa, if that's not the epitome of self-hatred, that is disgusting and embarrassing. Once upon a time, I was so proud of Sammy Sosa. In the Bronx, there were people, remember when him and Aguirre was in the home run race? There were people that you know, Mark Aguirre was chasing after this record. And they had it, they were painting it on their windows. But in the Bronx, they had Sosa's name on it. And I said, man, represent, Sammy. Let's go, Sammy. I'm rooting with, I ain't got no problem with Aguirre, but I'm rooting for Sammy off of GP, man. Let's go, Sammy. He did his thing. He retired, and then I'm seeing him pop up. I was like, is he sick? No. He's literally taking pictures in London with bleached skin and a cowboy hat. I said, what happened to Sammy? I already know what happened to Sammy, and I never spoke on it. But that's disgusting, man. And that's what I see when I look at you knuckle draggers. That's what I see, man. That's what I see when I look at you knuckle draggers. When we tell you what's going on, not only in boxing, but in life in general. And it reflects in boxing. I don't understand y'all. I don't understand how y'all allow Ryan Garcia to say what he said and get away with it, but you get online and threaten us with violence. I don't understand how y'all allow Teofimo Lopez to do the same thing, but you get on my live stream and threaten me with violence. I don't get it. I don't understand how y'all allowed George Kambosos' wife to say, hey man, I'm out in the sun getting niggered. I did a whole video on that. I was like, wait, what? Is that what they call it in Australia? And I have an Australian buddy. He said, no, she's being racist. I'm like, whoa, getting a tan, getting niggered? You don't say that. And just because Devin Haney was his opponent, I said, look, you don't have to like Devin. You don't have to like his style. But do you see this? Do you see this? Their response, I just keep it boxing. So let's bring the conversation full circle. Understand how Tank got here. He got here enabled by fans that are homosexual. I'm being dead serious. They're homosexual. They are homosexual. Right? They're homosexual. They're uneducated about boxing. And well, they're uneducated in life. And a handful are educated, but they're maximizing their dollar by talking up and spinning everything this little mofo does. Y'all see my link to Rumble pinned at the top. Y'all see my link to Rumble pinned at the top.
I just want to rap.
Y'all see my link? It's pinned at the top.
I just want to rap.
That's your champion. That's your champion. That's your champion. That's the guy you support. Let me explain something to you. Name a heavyweight, a middleweight, name a legendary fighter that you've ever seen do something like that. Julio Cesar Chavez. I know I saw Junior walking around in stilettos a few years ago. I know I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. Pick one. Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson is the strangest one. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? Has he ever done that? That right there, for no reason. Tank set up his phone and did that. Name him. Name a fighter that's done that. Pick one that you can't stand. Have they ever done that? I know Tyson Fury kisses men on the mouth. Seen that? Click the link. Go to Rumble. Right now. I'm shutting YouTube down. Go to Rumble. Link is pinned at the top. Go now.